Success means different things for different people. Success can encompass various aspects of life, such as personal, professional, or financial. Hey guys, it's Logan. Thanks so much for clicking on this video. This is going to be a very candid video, but I really just wanted to come on here and talk about success and what success means to me and what I have learned in my young professional career that I will carry over and just good core aspects of being successful. So I wanted to start out with talking about goals. So I would say I have always been a very goal-oriented person. I create small goals as well as large goals for myself, and I do believe that it is important to set goals for yourself, because if you don't have goals for yourself, I feel like you're kind of moving through life without a purpose. So what I mean by small goals is I can set goals for myself anywhere from I'm going to do the dishes today, I'm going to do the dishes tonight. That's my goal for the day. So anything small, or even my goal is to run 10 miles this week, but in order to get there, I'm going to run 1 mile today. So small goals like that I incorporate in my everyday, and then I also, of course, have larger goals. Some examples of those could be that I would like to be in the top 10 of my company, so that in the next 3 years I will be on the top 10 panel at the company retreat, or to be a consistent volunteer through a program, or to purchase a home all by myself, an investment property, before I turn 30 years old. So I believe that setting small and large goals for yourself will be a productive way to motivate yourself every single day. So I believe if you don't really know what you are motivated to do, or if you're having a hard time finding what inspires you, I would start setting very small attainable goals for yourself every single day. And once you attain those goals, reflect and think about, are you inspired? Are you motivated? Are you satisfied when you complete that goal? And just starting somewhere can help lead you in the path of finding which goals are satisfying. So I might have set a goal that I wanted to not eat gluten for a whole month, but then I'll find myself doing that and not feeling accomplished. Versus I could tell myself I would like to run 10 miles a week. And when I accomplish that goal, I feel really good, because I know that makes me feel good, my body feel good, it makes me feel accomplished, it gives me a clear mind. So when you start to set those goals for yourself, you know why you're doing them, and they're motivating because they make you feel good and they make you feel accomplished and full inside. My next piece of advice for successful people is also in the goals aspect, but creating SMART goals for yourself. When setting goals, if you are not someone that has set goals for yourself, something that you can measure your goals by is make it a SMART goal. So what SMART stands for is S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for attainable, R is for relevant, and T is for time measurable. So, for example, if I wanted to purchase an investment property within the range of $400,000 to $500,000 in Colorado before I turn 30, that is specific because I have multiple details within my goal. It is measurable because I have a financial number in there, $400,000 to $500,000. It is attainable because in order to purchase an investment property, I would need to put 20% down, meaning I would need to save $100,000 at most to put down on a property, with which what I already have saved. It is attainable, and from there I can set smaller goals of what I need to save each month, each year. And then it is relevant because I am a real estate agent. I am in the real estate profession. I like to invest in properties so that I can have a more financially stable future. And then it is time measurable because I am turning 27 tomorrow, actually. So I have 3 years before I turn 30, so I have my time in there. Advice in order to become successful is to invest in yourself. And this can mean, again, different things for different people. For example, for me, investing in myself looks like reading motivational books, listening to motivational podcasts, resting, working out, eating healthy. It can even be as far as investing time into my business and money. It can be a million different things, but basically the moral of the story is invest in yourself, take care of yourself, make sure that you are the best version of yourself. Another thing that you could do is, what I like to do is, and I've always been this way, is I will hang out with people that I am inspired by, that I look up to, because I am definitely a creature of my environment, and the top 5 people that I hang out with, I become. So I really want to be very particular in who I spend most of my time with, and I want to make sure that they inspire me to be a better person as well. 2 pieces of advice that I will always live by is to always be a student and to always listen more than you talk. So I think that this is an investment in yourself, because when you're listening to other people, you're absorbing their perspective and you're learning from them, and you're constantly evolving and growing and changing, because there's something called a confirmation bias, and basically you only really hear what you want to hear. And I don't think that is beneficial to investing in yourself, because every single day is an opportunity to be growing and changing and becoming the best version of yourself. And that might look like different things every day, but every day is a step towards the person that you would like to be. And I don't think that's really a finite amount of time. I think that's infinite. I don't think you're ever really going to be exactly, so there's a caveat to this, because I don't always think that you're going to be 100% satisfied, because I also don't ever really want to stop. I don't think successful people really settle. So I just think that it's good to know that you're constantly always evolving, with also being satisfied with who you are and who you're becoming and the steps that you're taking to get there every single day. So to be successful today might not look like the same thing to you what it means like to be successful tomorrow. Having a growth mindset, this kind of plays off of what I was just talking about, but I did go to a company retreat yesterday, and there was a keynote speaker talking about comparison and how it's not good to compare yourself to other people. You should always just be comparing yourself to yourself. And I am definitely guilty of doing this. I always compare myself to other people that are my age in life as well as in my business. And so I am really making it a habit and a goal to stop doing that, because if you're doing that, you're really putting yourself in a box, and that's not something that a successful person would do. So this one's a big one, and I definitely think this might be the most important thing for successful people, but it is staying consistent and persistent. And so I have really realized that this is important to incorporate in your life, especially when you might be going through a time that doesn't feel very successful, but remembering why you got there and that you did not just come this far to come this far. So in my career, it looks something like you go 1-2 years with having an idea in your head of what success looks like in your career, and it might not happen as quickly as you want it to, but I did not just put in 1 to 2 years of doing open houses for free and running around showing houses, learning every day, investing in being on a board of realtors, investing in my MLS, investing in driving around to properties, investing in working in CTM and creating contracts. I didn't invest all of this time and money and sanity in 2 years to just come this far. There's a reason why I am in the career that I am in, and there's a reason that people that are successful in this career are successful, and it's because that they have high expectations for themselves, and they're very type A and motivated and consistent and persistent. So that's an example. Another one that I can relate to in my business is marketing. I'm not going to farm a neighborhood and only do it every quarter and or do it for only 1 year and then stop doing it, because it's almost like retargeting, and that's a new marketing tactic for super successful companies. Basically, if someone sees your product and likes it once, they're probably not going to remember. You're going to keep reminding them until they remember who you are. You're building a brand around yourself, yada, yada, yada. So being consistent and persistent in absolutely everything you do is so important, because every single day that you're not being consistent is time wasted. So it's almost just like accruing as well. And I've realized that being consistent and not doing anything, all of that time, even though it might feel like it's a little bit of time each day, it all accrues into a lot of time. Just like more of a successful beneficial habit will doing that consistently and persistently will lead to hopefully better results. So that is kind of my mindset on that. And then developing a strong work ethic. So like I said, went to a conference yesterday, and one of the top performers had read a book that I cannot remember what it's called, but I do want to read it if I can figure out what it was. But the idea of it is putting yourself in uncomfortable situations so that you know what it feels like to go out of your comfort zone. So for example, I hate being cold, and I've been trying to incorporate taking cold showers in the morning so that my rest of my day is led with, I just did something that made me feel uncomfortable. I can do the hard things the rest of the day. So kind of getting in that mindset and having a strong work ethic consistently will also help lead to success. Taking calculated risks. So I definitely think that I'm a little more apprehensive on this one, but I do know and believe that it will work. I've taken a lot of risks, of course. I've not had a salaried income for 2 years. I've been working on commission only, so it's a result-driven business. So yes, that is a huge risk that I'm taking. However, another risk that I do really want to take that I've been sitting on is investing in my real estate marketing. So that is a pretty big chunk of money that I would be investing in my business. But if I'm not taking that risk, then it's not ever going to happen. Basically, I would like to farm my neighborhood, which is about $1,000 a month, and probably won't pay out until, in my head, probably 3 years. We would have to see, it just depends. But that's a risk that I'm willing to take, because if it does pay out, then it will work. And it's almost a matter of not when it will work, or not if it will work, but when it will work. And so I think that taking a risk, if it's calculated and if it's well thought out and proven in your thought process to work, then that you should take the risk. I've talked to multiple other agents that have invested in marketing and that have been successful with it. So I really do think that that is a calculated risk and a risk that would pay out. And then last but not least, I wanted to talk about visualizing success. Actually over visualize success. I think to some degree that you should have a visualization in your head of what you want, because I do think that's inspiring and can fuel you with reaching your goals. However, I do think there's a certain point to where you can over visualize what you would like your success to look like. Meaning, I definitely do this, and I think that it can almost be demotivating because you want something so badly and you constantly visualize it and you're just not there yet. So I do think that can be demoralizing, and I think that, I just think that this is something that you should definitely have some type of a vision of what your future is going to look like, but I don't think that you should constantly be putting that vision in your head. Anyways, this was just the beginning of the video. I hope you enjoy. Alright, I just wanted to talk a little bit more for this vlog. It's basically going to be a video about success, but I wanted to add just some candid chatting here at the end while I clean up the kitchen a little bit. But I basically have talked about this before on a video, but I have been definitely having some type of like unmotivated time in my life, and I have been trying to figure out why that is. But I definitely think that going to the class that I went to, or the retreat that I went to yesterday, was helpful. And basically what they did was they had a panel of 10 of the top performers at my company do a panel and tell us 4 things that they incorporated in their business that they found to make a difference this year in their numbers. So I was just gonna share a couple of those items with you guys on here for anyone that's watching that is in real estate that would like to have some takeaways, basically. So one of them being, I think I wrote it down. Okay. Couldn't find that for a second, but having a warm and hot list readily available for you to look at every single morning. That was from my direct boss, basically, and he was just talking about how every morning he looks at a list of his clients, who's on his hot list, who's on his warm list. He also has a to-do list every morning. So what I was thinking about doing was printing off and laminating a sheet for my to-do list so that I can just use a Sharpie or an Expo marker, basically, so that I can rewrite my tasks every day. And then also having a printed out version of my hot and warm list to make sure that I am in constant communication with the people that are ready to roll as soon as possible. So that was something that I will be incorporating in my business next year. And then, so basically, yeah, activity tracker was what he called the other item. And then he also had, obviously, having a great sphere list. On our team, we do a lot of Zillow. So most important to us, however, is always keeping a good network. And that's basically the meat and potatoes of our clientele, is the people that are in our network. So staying in touch and always updating that list. And then what else? Marketing, client parties. I did a pickleball event this year, but I would like to do another pickleball event next year. We're doing a Halloween party this year. I basically want to try to do events quarterly because I do think it opens up a better communication and makes your clients feel more connected to you if you're seeing them in person rather than them just getting your email marketing, your flyers, getting text messages, even phone calls from you. I just think person-to-person contact is also helpful for building that relationship and keeping that relationship throughout their lifetime of buying and selling real estate. So that is going to be important, is client events, always answering the phone and always being present. So that is definitely something that I have gotten good feedback on, is that I'm always attentive to my clients. They know that when they need something, I will be at their fingertips basically as soon as possible. And then Some really good idea that someone had that I have actually heard before is throwing housewarming parties for your clients once they purchase their new home. So anywhere from $100 to $300, just offering to have beverages and food provided by you for their housewarming party, and maybe even helping send out their invites, and then obviously going to the housewarming party and networking yourself as well. So that has been super successful for some people on my team. And then obviously making social to real, so always being present on social media, building your brand, building your reputation, and proving that you are the professional, as well as using social for real interactions. So if you see that someone got engaged, someone that had a baby, someone that their pet passed away, writing notes or dropping off gifts to them, whatever it might be, but using social for real life interactions. And then always learning, which I did touch at the beginning of this video about always learning, connecting with agents in other areas. I think this is important, but for me, since I'm still so new to the career, I don't think that this is going to be in the forefront. I'm more worried about actually doing client activities rather than making connections with other real estate agents. I do think that is important because I think it's good to have a network of real estate agents that you can refer clients to in other states. So that is also something that I would like to incorporate, but it is not as important as my actual client tasks. Incorporating things that you like hobbies. So for example, pickleball, Pilates, things like that. And maybe creating groups. So if you like to read, maybe joining book clubs or creating a book club, or just kind of as a networking event. And last but not least, actually having a picture of your business plan and knowing every single day why you're doing what you're doing, what's motivating you, and staying on track with your goals, but actually having a full-on business plan printed out and ready to go at your fingertips, I think is going to be very important for me moving forward.